Hi everyone, I've got a really cool video for you today. If you've been watching my videos regularly, you'll know that I recently switched away from the Apple iPhone to using the OnePlus 5T. Now, in today's video, I want to share with you some amazing cases that OnePlus have actually made for the 5T and a couple of little extra accessories as well. Now, what I thought was really good when I first received and unboxed the OnePlus 5T was the fact that inside the box you already got a silicone case, so there was already a case actually supplied with the smartphone, which I think is a really good added value. It also came with this screen protector pre-applied as well. Now, before I show you the cases I've got, including the one already on the phone, I just want to give you a little bit of an update in how I've been finding the OnePlus 5T as my daily driver. And I must admit that I've been finding it really very good indeed. A lot of people have been tweeting me, contacting me on other social media and saying, well, how's the battery life? Using this medium to heavy use, I would say, I'm easily getting a full day of battery life, and my day starts at around about 5:30 to 6 AM. And then at 10 PM I'm still on round about sort of 30%, sometimes a little bit more, sometimes a little bit less, but it will certainly do a full day with no problem at all. I think I would possibly do a day and a half between charges. Now, I always say to you guys, put a screen protector on your smartphone. I always say put a case on your smartphone. It keeps it looking nice. Sometimes it adds to grip as well. This is a little bit of a slippery smartphone, and these range of cases vary a little bit between them. I've had them all out of their boxes and just put them back into the packaging just for this presentation. The first one I want to show you is this carbon fibre effect one. I think it looks absolutely fantastic. So we've got the OnePlus logo on the back there, a cutout for the camera and for the fingerprint sensor, little raised edge profile buttons for the power on that side, also raised edge profile buttons for the volume on the other side, and a little cutout for the 2-position silencer switch. Of course, we've also got cutouts for all of the ports, including that 3.5mm headphone jack across the bottom. A very slightly raised edge profile on this one as well, so that protects the screen a little bit more, but I just think the finish on this looks really good. I really do like it. I love the carbon fibre effect. The phone itself looks nice and stealthy anyway, and I just think that adding this look to it not only adds a little tiny bit of grip, it's not an ultra grippy case, but it's sort of like a soft rubber effect finish, really finishes off the phone nicely. Not necessarily my favourite out of all these cases I'm going to show you today, but certainly one that should be on your sort of radar. Now, before I move on to the next case, I just want to mention that we have got the live chat in this broadcast. If you've got any questions at all, I will take a break midway through the video and take some questions. If you've got any questions or comments that are really very important and you definitely want them addressed, then there is the super chat feature. I also want to let you know that I have got a very special link for you, which I'm just putting into the chat here. It is also underneath the video in the video description. If you use that link, you get an extra special voucher, which can be used as a discount off an accessory bundle. So please do check that out as well. A big hello to everyone as well who's tuned into the live broadcast. I really do appreciate you joining in. And let's move on to the next case. I'm going to take this one out of this particular case because I want to show you them on the phone. With one exception, I might not put both of the wooden effect cases on. Let me just show you this on the inside very quickly. So it's got the carbon effect all the way through the case. It's a really nice looking case. Very pleased with that indeed. So let's move on. I mentioned to you about the wooden effect cases, so let's do those next. We've got two of these. This is what they look like inside the packaging. So we've got a rosewood finish case and an ebony wood case. I'll take the ebony wood one out and then I'll show you the rosewood one actually on the phone. So this is the let me just check I'm getting this right. So this is the ebony wood case, and it feels, I'm sure it's real wood. If it's not real wood, they have done a fantastic job of this, but it's got a grain to it. It's got to be real wood. and they've somehow fused the wood to these slightly flexible, sort of not quite rubber but plasticky feeling edges. Very, very nicely done. Really well done. Just look at the grain on that. And the reason I think this is real wood is if you look on the inside of the case, it's not quite as smooth. It's still smooth, but not quite as smooth as the outside. And it's just got a really nice grain to it. Wow, I love that. Absolutely love it. So let's take this one out. This is the rosewood case. And let's pop the phone into it. And this has got a different colour to the edge. That's really nice. Let's pop this in. So we go top edge first. Pop that in very carefully. Wow, really easy to fit. Love it. I tell you why I love this sort of case. This is probably going to be the one that I use instead of the carbon fibre. If you look around you, look at my desk here. I've got a solid bamboo desk in the editing room. And I love the tactile feel of real wood. And this is, it almost matches. Wow, that is so, so nice. So let me give you a closer look at this one. Ebony wood back to the case. And we've got this brown colour plastic around the edges. All the same cutouts as on the previous case. So I'm not going to go through each and every one of them showing you all the cutouts. But I will do on this one. Cutouts across the bottom. Nice that it's protected across the bottom as well. Very, very nice feeling case. A little bit of grip to it. Very comfortable in the hand. And that really tactile feeling wood with the OnePlus logo just on the back here, just underneath the fingerprint sensor. The fingerprint sensor, look at this. So quick. And then tap. Awesome. Absolutely so, so fast. Let me do that once more. I just love the fingerprint sensor. It's such a really good experience, this smartphone. And as I mentioned before, do check out that link down in the video description. Not only can you pick up the cases and the other accessories I'm going to show you, but it also is just a really, really good experience. Very, very nice indeed. Just sort of fiddling around with the controls. But anyway, let's move on. Let's move on to the next one. So we've also got two more cases here. I'll show you those in a short while. I want to move on and show you the accessories. It comes with a screen protector pre-applied to the OnePlus 5T. This is another screen protector. This is like a glass screen protector. It comes with these tools here to apply it, and also it's like a squeegee card, a little sticker for removing dust, and a little cloth inside this package. And it also comes obviously with the screen protector itself, and it's just really nicely packaged. They've done a really good job. And this is what the screen protector looks like. I haven't applied it yet. I'm not going to do it in this video, but this is a tempered glass screen protector, and it comes on this sort of backing. So we've got like a backing sheet here that it's actually on, and it actually has black bezels top, bottom, and slight bezels to the side. So this is like a full coverage screen protector. I assume that they have designed this so it works with their cases. I'd be very, very surprised if that isn't the case. And it looks like it's got just glue on the edges, but I might be wrong. Let's just have a look. It's really hard to tell. It might just have glue down the edges, but hopefully this will be a full coverage, full adhesive screen protector as well. But as I say, I'm not going to install that in this particular video. I'm going to install that later on. But it's a 3D tempered glass screen protector. Does it have instructions in it as well? I assume they give you a little bit of instructions. Yes, they do. And from the look of it, they've got somebody squeegeeing out the air bubbles on this bottom step here. So it will have adhesive all the way across, which is nice to see. I don't like those screen protectors where it's just adhesive down the sides, because then you often get like an air gap, and it's just not great. But anyway, let's have a look at these other accessories. Let's start with these. Black box, obviously not a case. These are called, I think they call them bullets. So OnePlus Bullet earphones. These are version 2. And I gave these a test earlier today. They're really nicely designed. This is a nice long cord, 3.5mm audio jack. We've also got an inline little remote control with a microphone and a little push button here as well. So sort of like a multi-function rocker button. So this will allow you to turn the volume up and down. Little pinhole mic on the back. This is what the earphones look like. Very, very nicely designed. Super lightweight as well. Very, very, very cool. I like the sort of, there's almost like a brushed metal effect, like a satinization to the is that a word, satinization? Let's just call it a satin finish to the actual earphones. Very, very comfortable. A slightly flat profile cable, tangle free as well, so it doesn't tangle too easily, and just a really nice set of earphones, really well priced. I thought these were going to be priced quite high, but I looked on Amazon and I think they were about £24, something like that, and a really nice sound to them. Very, very good sound indeed. Nice sort of low frequencies. Mid-range is just sort of what you would expect from a pair of this sort of price earphones. Nothing to shout about. And then the higher frequencies, that's where I was really impressed. A lot of detail produced by these earphones. So these are the HTC Bullet earphones version 2. Not sure how they differ from version 1 because I never tested the version 1, but they certainly sound very, very good indeed. So I've been really impressed with those. So let's move on and have a look at these last two cases. This one here, let me give you a close-up look at that in the packaging. So this is the sandstone case, and I quite like this because it's got a nice texture to it. I'm not going to put this one on the phone, I'll reserve that for the last case, but this has got like a nice grip to it. Now the only downside with this case is it leaves the bottom of the phone exposed, so it doesn't cover up the bottom edge, but the rest of it is covered, and then the top edge is left exposed a bit as well. I think that's probably why I'm not sold on this one, purely because it's a very minimal coverage. But if you want a very thin, and this is super thin, lightweight cover to the back of your OnePlus 5T, and the additional grip as well, because this is very grippy, this is the grippiest one of the lot, then the sandstone one is probably the one to choose. So let's have a look at the last case, and then I'll dive into the chat and take some of your questions. And this one I was really excited about, purely because it's so vibrant in colour. Look at this. So this is a silicone case, and it's got a really soft microfiber lining. Very, very soft indeed. I'm going to put this one on the phone if I can find it amongst all these other cases. But this one looks nice. It's got full coverage all the way around apart from across the bottom edge as well, and obviously all the cutouts that you've seen in these other cases, and it just feels so nice. I mean, super easy to put on for a start, but I tell you why I like this. If I give you a close-up look at this, it's just the contrast between the really bright red case, and this is a really sort of like a tomato or cherry red, and then you've got the contrast against the black fingerprint sensor, the cutout for the camera of course, and then of course when you turn it round, let's just turn it on, we've got let's get rid of that, back to the home screen. We've sort of got this framing effect, so it's framed in red, then very thin bezels, and then of course that gorgeous screen, 6-inch screen on this. Across the bottom edge, as I said, this remains sort of open, still protection on the corners, but it doesn't go all the way across, and it feels really, really nice in the hand with this red case on. The one that I'm probably going to keep on is the Ebony wood. I'm probably going to put that one back on, but all of these cases feel absolutely fantastic. Absolutely brilliant. I love this red one. Really nice colour. Wow. That is so, so cool. And it's also got, you probably can't see this on camera, but it's got the little OnePlus logo just embossed in this one rather than printed on. And a little deeper sort of reach, obviously, for the fingerprint sensor, but it still works absolutely fine. The buttons work fine as well through the case, sort of raised edge profile buttons. Really very, very nice range of cases. So anyway, let's remove this from that case there. I just want to show you them all again. So we've got all of these cases available for the OnePlus 5T. And again, even if you use that link that I put in the chat and down below in the video description, that gives you a £20 accessory voucher if you order a OnePlus 5T. It will also gain you access to the store, so if you've already got your OnePlus 5T and you want to pick up one of these cases, you can still feel free to use that link. But these are all of the cases, the 2 wooden finishes, the carbon finish, the sandstone, and of course the very flexible red silicone rubber case. Very, very nice range of cases. I just love this wood finish though. That is probably the one for me. But I like them all actually. I like the carbon fibre effect. I like the lighter wood personally, and I like the red. And it's nice to have choice. I tell you something I do like with the red one is the fact it's got this soft microfiber lining. Very, very cool indeed. Really love all of these. Absolutely superb. So anyway, let's move on to the chat. Good morning to everyone. Thanks for tuning in again to the live broadcast. Let's take a look at the questions. We've got here Hugo, Henrique. Not sure if I should swap my V30 for the OnePlus 5T. What's your opinion? That's a really difficult one because the LG V30 is also a new smartphone. And it depends. If you're disappointed with an aspect of the V30, then yes, consider switching. But I've heard really good things about the V30. Apart from a slight colour cast on the camera, I've heard that it's a fantastic smartphone and a fantastic experience. All I would say is if you do decide to switch, use my link. Wink, wink. But no, seriously, it's too hard to call. If there's something you're really disappointed in, then see if you can return the V30 and switch out to the OnePlus 5T. But if you're happy with how that is actually working, you're not going to be missing out on much. And I still think you're going to have a fantastic experience with the V30. We've also got Phantom Graphics saying, morning, and this is just what I need as I have the OnePlus 5T. That is awesome. Do check out the cases. Feel free to use my link. I don't get any sort of kickback or any commission if you use my link and buy cases. But certainly if you do buy the OnePlus 5T with my link, it does help me a little bit. It just earns me points. And what do points mean? Points mean prizes. Well, in theory they do. But do use my link if you want to pick up some cases. I'm sure it just indicates to them that you have come from one of the Geekanoids videos. We've also got somebody here. What's this? Peter Kaiser. If the red silicon one was in black, I might have chosen that one. They may well do a black silicon case. I'm not entirely positive on that. I don't think they sent me every case that they do, but do check it out. They may well do the black silicon. And then we've got Phantom Graphics. That red one is what I want for mine. With the black look on the phone, perfect combo. So that just shows how people's opinions are so different. We've got Peter saying that he wouldn't go for the red one, he'd go for black, and then Phantom Graphics saying he would go for the red one because of the contrast. And this is what I say in a lot of my reviews, is everyone's opinion and everyone's taste is different. I couldn't choose a wristwatch for somebody because their taste would be different to mine. And I can't decide what smartphone you're going to use because your requirements and your needs and your priorities are going to be different to mine. But what I can say is I can just share what my experience has been. And my experience is that the OnePlus 5T has been a fantastic choice for me. And I've really been enjoying it over the past, I think, 2.5, almost 3 weeks now. A really, really good choice. Jimmy McShlong says, just ordered a OnePlus 5T and I can't wait. I've been an iPhone user all my life, by the way. Well, it's not an easy transition, Jimmy. You know, there is going to be that sort of switch over period where you're going to be thinking, have I made the right choice? But my big tip for you, and I mentioned this in another video, is when you get the OnePlus 5T, use Google Drive. That was the way I found it easier to transfer everything over. That allows you to back up your contacts and your photos, etc. on your iPhone to Google Drive. Then when you sign in on your Google account on the OnePlus 5T, all of that content will be there and available to you, including your contacts. And then my big tip is to actually put your iPhone away in a drawer. Once you've got all of your apps up and running, maybe you've got some authenticator apps, password apps, etc. Once you've got everything up and running how you want it, put the iPhone in a drawer so you can't be tempted to pick it up. And then I think you'll find the transition a lot easier. Peter says, I wonder if the sound settings for the OnePlus Bullets are really different from using regular headphones like the Bowers and Wilkins P7. I don't think they'll be quite as good as the P7. I've experienced the P7 and they're amazing. But they'll be quite close. I don't think they're tuned necessarily to the output on the OnePlus 5T. Abhishek Joshi says, Dave, why is there so much bad publicity about the OnePlus 5T screen? A lot of people criticising the screen not being 2K. I've got no idea. I think the screen is absolutely fantastic. I don't think you'll have any trouble at all with the screen. I think the screen is a good enough resolution. I mentioned this in my review, so I don't think you'll be disappointed with the screen. Chiranth Stallion says, ordered OnePlus 5T now. Awesome, really pleased to hear it. And Alan McQuell says, hey Geekanoids, I'm thinking of ordering the OnePlus 5T around the 15th of this month. I haven't had a phone for at least a year since my HTC Desire HD broke. Do you recommend it? Yes, definitely. The OnePlus 5T has been a really good experience for me. Nice and fast, good cameras. Not the best cameras. I think that the iPhone 10, iPhone 8 and 8 Plus and possibly the iPhone 7 and 7 Plus just about edge it with regards to dynamic range, but still a very, very good camera experience. And I'm really fussy about my photos. Battery life has been epic and performance has been brilliant. So yeah, I can definitely recommend it. Chiranth says, you skipped my comment. So sad. But in fact, you just picked up that I did answer. I think there's a little bit of a delay between you sort of hearing what I'm doing and obviously the chat coming up. But I'm glad that I answered your question. I'm really pleased that you all tuned in. If you have got or are thinking of ordering a OnePlus 5T, please do use the link down in the video description. If you want to pick up a case, they do some amazing cases. Really can highly recommend them. They also do that glass screen protector that I showed you and the OnePlus Bullet version 2 earphones. So once again, thank you for tuning in. Thanks for watching the video and I'll see you all in the next one.